Question number 8 of the PhilNITS FE afternoon portion of the exam. In this question, we have a program that implements a stack. The stack implementation only accepts positive integers. The function empty checks whether the stack is empty. Okay, we have a function called empty. And the function full checks whether the stack is full. And also a function that checks whether it's full or not. And if the stack is not full, the function push pushes an element with a specified value onto the stack. And we have a push function as well. And if it's not empty, the function pops an element. So the function pop removes an element from the stack and returns its value. In the program, our areas outside of the array must not be referenced. Okay, if we look at the code, here we get the index set to 1 and the max is at 4. And if we look at the content array, we have here 4 elements as well, set to undefined as default. And if we now go to the functions, the empty function says here that if the index is 1, then it's empty, true, otherwise it's false. And the function full, we have here the blank A, and we need to know what would be the correct answer there. And the function push, which says that if it's not full, then we do this part here, but we need to know what would be the correct answer for blank B. For function pop, says that if it's not empty, we do something, and there we find blank C. Okay, if we look at the answer group, we can see that in my case, I chose the incorrect answer, which is D, because the correct answer is supposed to be B. The main difference between the two is that I chose the one with the greater than or equal sign here, and for letter B, it's supposed to be greater than only. The rest, B and C, are the same, and I think we need to explain why I made a mistake and what is the correct way of thinking about this problem and its solution as well. So again, the function empty gives us the boolean true if it's empty, the stack is empty, and false if it's not. Now, if it's full, then how do we know that it's full? It says here that the correct answer should be index is greater than max. I think that this is valid, and the one that I was saying a while ago that I chose might be also correct. That's why we need to know what the correct answers are for the rest of the functions too, to at least narrow down the choices. Okay, so if we have an idea what would be the likely answer here, then we move on to the next and see if we'll need to update any of our previous answers as well. Okay, now for push, it says here that if it's not full, then we need to add the integer, which is what we'll be pushing into the stack, to the content index, which a while ago, remember, we have undefined as the default values, and the index is currently at, if we're starting, currently at 1. Okay, so here 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember that we're starting at 1. Unlike other programs that start at 0. So we start at 1. So we put the push parameter, the argument that we're getting as input for our push function to the content at index 1, content array, and then we increment the index. So from 1, we make it 2. So at least we know that if we're pushing again, then it would be the next element after the one that we just added. Okay, so we can pretty much have an idea already why full should be this, but I guess we can continue on with the next function, pop. Okay, says here that if it's not empty, meaning that there's something inside the content array, then we gotta do a minus first and return the value in the content. Why do we need to do that? It's because, remember, whenever we push, we always have to do an increment to the index. So if we need to get the element, then we need to get the index previous to the one that we are currently at, and that's what we will return. Okay, all right, now having said that, the full function therefore should be index is greater than max, because if we see the push here and we're starting at 1, push, and that makes it 2, right? So we start at 1, then 2, then we push again, so that makes it 3, and then we push again. Okay, so we are now at 4, so we're using all the arrays in the content already, but our index is actually at 5 now, right? We are now at 5 because remember we have to always do a plus, index plus 1, and we need to know if it's full already or not, and that's why, because the max of the array is 4, then if we use the function full, it will tell us yes, we are full already because our current index is at 5 and our max is supposed to be only 4. Now if it's greater than or equal to max, then we don't reach this one anymore, and we don't reach this one as well. We only reach up to 3 elements, and what we need is 4 elements. So in that sense, the correct answer should be this one, index is greater than max. And really I think the cause of the problem, at least for me, was the shift in the way I need to think about this one, index starting at 1 and then max at 4, because I guess I'm used to starting at 0. And so when I shifted my understanding of, okay, we'll all start at 1 based on the previous questions, then I guess that caused the additional problem for me in terms of my understanding. But again, we do have hints here somewhat, and if you review and you verify whether your answers are indeed correct or not before submission, then maybe you'll find this part here that we are always adding a plus 1. And so if we are using up the maximum, which is 4, then the index should be at 5. Okay? Alright. Okay, so again, The correct answer is letter B.